Before the global COVID-19 pandemic broke out, food insecurity has been a serious concern throughout sub-Saharan Africa. Research shows that 239 million people in the region are undernourished as of 2018. These chronic food crises are driven by varieties of factors, including economic shocks, climate change, and conflict. My name is Enyunam. I'm the host of the Ghanaian Farmer on Joy Prime Television. Today, I sit with Madame Barbara Clemens. She's the Country Director of World Food Program. Let's get to know her a bit more, her role in World Food Program, and what her organization has been doing all these years in Ghana. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Gifty, for having me.
It's an honor to sit with you today.
And it's an honor to be with you here today.
Right. So, first of all, let's get to know your role in World Food Program and how long you have been working with them.
Okay. My role in Ghana is the country director and representative of the World Food Program. I am new to WFP Ghana, but I have over 15 years of service with WFP. And this is a relatively new role for me. I often joke with my staff that I've covered everything in WFP except aviation.
Okay.
So I've had the privilege of working with many hats in WFP.
Okay. How long have you been with them?
I've been with WFP for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
And recently joined Ghana. Yes.
The World Food Program every day have been seeing in different part of the country. I, for instance, am following your pages. World Food Program DRC, World Food Program Somalia, South Sudan, Kenya. And we see a lot of deliveries of food and other relief items to war zones countries. How do you operate in Ghana? Because we do not see such.
Sure. Well, our tagline in WFP, very astute of you, our tagline says, World Food Program, saving lives and changing lives. I think is one of the most brilliant things that WFP's done, because over the years, many people know us, and that's what we do very well, is save lives through our humanitarian operations, delivering life-saving food assistance to people who are in need, many of them, as you mentioned, in war-torn countries. But when we've done that extremely well in many, many contexts where we realize in order for us to really leave a sustainable mark, we have to build rigor as well as resilience into that process. And in doing that, we're changing lives as well, so that people, if there's an additional shock in their life, they're more resilient to withstand it, so that the extent of the assistance and the level of assistance become less and less. And if we do that well, we assist the country that we're operating in to graduate to more development assistance. And Ghana is one of those hallmark countries for WFP where we've been present here for a number of years. We've seen Ghana progress from needing humanitarian assistance, where now they've had a sustained period of economic growth, and they're in a position where they're a lower middle income country. Coupled with that, when you mention war-torn, they've enjoyed an extensive period of peace, which is not the case for many of their West African nations. So in this context, what we're doing here in Ghana is attempting to change lives, where we are looking at the government systems. If there are any gaps, we are attempting to fill those gaps, assist in filling the gaps, with the underlying assumption that we are not here to supplant what the government is doing, but play a facilitation role, leaning heavily on creating these strategic partnerships, which is where we found you, not wanting to reinvent the wheel, as it were, but looking to see who's out there in the food security, in the agricultural value chain, and what are they doing, and how can we step in and assist or elevate their voices so that we can change lives.
Right. We have 16 regions in Ghana. Do you have offices or representation in all the 16 regions?
No, we don't.
Okay.
And we're also, part of what we do is we work with the government of Ghana and development and even humanitarian partners in assessing the level of food insecurity, food and nutrition insecurity in Ghana. And the most recent data, statistical data, and also our comprehensive food and vulnerability analysis shows that the prevalence of food insecurity and nutrition insecurity is higher in the north.
Okay.
So that's where we find ourselves. We still have a small humanitarian footprint there where we're looking at communities that are particularly vulnerable to assist. But our direct implementation is there. But again, our large development footprint can be anywhere in Ghana. For example, in Kumasi, in Ashanti, where we have identified processors and where we invest in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was bringing me to my next
Oh,
question.
sorry.
How?
I'm so passionate about what I'm saying.
That's okay. So I wanted to find out, since Ghana has a bit of stability and peace, what then do you do with the farmers or those who are in the agricultural value chain? How do you impact or how do you support them to scale up what they're doing? I know you're very keen when it comes to nutrition and food security. So can you explain some of the success stories you've done or you have achieved over the period?
Sure. I think years ago, WFP had a program called P4P, where the focus was on smallholder farmers. You talked about our humanitarian operations in other countries where we purchase food from suppliers and we use those purchases to distribute in other countries. So the P4P program came about. How can we ensure that our purchasing dollars go directly to the smallholder farmers? And some of the lessons learned was that, we're doing this at a massive scale. And part of that, the huge quality and safety issues, we have to make sure that we work with them. So we graduated from there to this model that we have here in Ghana, where we're looking at actual producers, agricultural producers, working with them to see to what extent are they directly purchasing from smallholder farmers. So these are the types of things, and we put our investment dollars in. We have a company here called Premium, where they're now a WFP vendor, and we're purchasing super cereal for them for our Saving Life operation in Burkina Faso, hopefully in Afghanistan soon. But part and parcel of that is Premium is purchasing maize and soya from over 15,000 smallholder farmers' families. So the impact of actual saving lives of farmers and also changing lives of those smallholder farmers are huge. And not only is the impact huge, but it builds resilience. The next step is that we're working with Premium to make sure that they open up the domestic line. So you can see that even after WFP goes away, in terms of if the demand is not there, let's say for Burkina, those smallholder farmers are still supplying to premiums. So that is the type of work that we are looking to do. It's always, what is your impact to the agricultural value chain if we are partnering with you? What is your impact to Ghana's GDP if we're partnering with you? That type of thing.
Awesome. The pandemic has caused a lot of economic shocks, like I said in my introduction. How has it also affected your operations in Ghana and globally? Because I know from what I have read, your activities or your support, donation, humanitarian activities are financed by donations. How has it affected your work?
Well, I think the pandemic has affected our work in terms of there are many businesses that are out of business, so the need has increased.
Okay.
And also the donor priorities have shifted. Coupled with that, I would say Ghana, WFP has become a victim of our own success, because and I say our own, not to take away that success from Ghana, but Ghana's success, as I mentioned, relatively strong economic growth and recovery, protracted period of peace in this country. And then with their slogan that everybody knows, Ghana Beyond Aid, they've positioned themselves that, we don't need aid. At least that is the interpretation. I would say the misinterpretation. I think that statement is aspirational, that they envision a period in the future where Ghana will not have to rely on aid.
Right.
But I think because of the COVID pandemic and all of these issues that are occurring globally, we don't need to take our foot off the pedal. I think it has impacted us in such a way that donors' priorities are shifting. And it's almost, we don't have to worry about Ghana because it's stable. Now they're looking at Ghana's a middle income country, is relatively stable in terms of peace compared to other countries where wars are brewing and rumors of wars are brewing. Most donors have a sigh of relief when they come to Ghana, and if they have resources, they themselves, suffering from the recovery from COVID, they're prioritizing to those where it's I wouldn't say it's more needed, but more along the lines of saving lives.
Okay.
This is the issue.
My next question would be, in Ghana, what is the World Food Programme's vision? And also, where do you see WFP Ghana in the next 4 or 5 years?
Okay. Oh, I love that. I like that question.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, we have, like Ghana, graduated away from humanitarian assistance, but yet there are pockets of food insecurity, and our value proposition can be best served strengthening the food systems in Ghana, contributing to Ghana's GDP, making sure people have a higher nutrition value, those types of things. But also, then it belays the question, what are you going to do so that you're not in a position where you're only reaching a finite number of beneficiaries instead of an infinite? And our vision for Ghana is we are liaising with our partners in the private sector, other UN organizations, and also in the government. We are creating a digital loyalty app. The Ghana, let's say, Health Services has a social protection change mandate for all Ghanaians to eat healthily, healthy lifestyle, lean heavily on locally produced food. So one of the questions for us is, okay, so how can we do that? We know that people know that they should eat healthily, but because they have limited resources
to afford it,
they can't afford it. So if I'm a mother of 4, I make $50 a month. I will give my 4 kids gari. They will go to bed not crying, but I can still keep that 50, pay my rent, pay for education, all the other things that I have to prioritize in addition to food. So this platform that we're envisioning would incentivize that mother, like myself, to not have to make negative dietary choices or any other type of choice. And how we do that is we award credits for positive choices. And those credits will be redeemable for the things that they would be prioritizing funds that they would have to spend on nutritious food, like a rent voucher or an educational voucher. And it's not just related to nutrition, but also social protection. Let's say for school feeding, caterers who, if they follow the government's mandate and sticking to the menu, cooking nutritious food and offering nutritious food, they will earn credits as well, so that they could buy more or it could contribute more to their income. Many of them may not purchase the food that they should purchase simply because they have to prioritize their limited resources. Communities who are practicing climate smart activities, agricultures, or even in the urban locations where you're not throwing rubbish in the gutters, you will earn credits for your community. Maybe that means you have more garbage collections, you have more rubbish containers. So this meets the things that Ghana WFP Nigeria, I'm saying Nigeria, I just came from Nigeria.
I know.
This meets some of the mandates that WFP Ghana would like to promote, but it's also expansive in the sense that if we have other partners from other UN organizations or NGO who want to, let's say, prioritize open defecation. Is there a community? Is there a street that has a policy? Can we give them credits for that? So our vision is our projects that we do or our activities that we embark on, first and foremost, should prioritize what WFP is doing. It should fill gaps that the government has, but it also should be flexible and expansive enough to draw in the maximum number of partners to participate. And with that platform, you ask about where would we be in the 10 years. Yeah. If that goes out into the ether, in 10 years, our vision is that people won't even recognize WFP in it. It will become an organic mechanism whereby which partners, be it the private sector, government, UN entities, NGOs, are all using it to fill gaps that exist in the system for social protection, for emergency preparedness and planning, or any other, for peace. How if you see a community, warring communities or communities in dispute, but they're taking an active role in bringing about peace and social cohesion, they are rewarded in such a way. Okay. So that's our vision.
Very insightful but brief conversation with the country director of WFP Ghana, Madame Barbara Clemens. Now, before we wrap up, which of the Ghanaian meal are you good at?
Oh, you don't know. I'm good at everything.
You can make me jollof?
I can make you jollof. Well, you don't know this about me. I'm half Liberian.
Okay.
Yes, so there's a debate on whether or not the Liberian jollof rice is better than the Ghanaian jollof rice. So I can make you jollof. Okay. Like you've never tasted before.
Oh, no, I haven't. I'll try Liberian jollof.
Gifty, I wanted to gift you. This is a virtual glasses. Okay. And you can see some of the work that we're doing here at WFP. Right. Most of it is centered around in the field, but I think it would be a treat. I'm sharing this with you.
Wow. Thank you very much. So I will have a closer view of what...
A virtual view.
I know, a virtual view of what WFP have been doing all this. Yes. Wow.
We are a WFP-assisted food processing company. We process specialized, nutritious foods. We face credit challenges at the initial stages in raising funds of approximately $25 to $35 million in building our plant. WFP came in just in time with a catalytic grant investment of $2.5 million and a strong uptake commitment. These commitments were enough to unleash the needed funds from our bankers.
We have been steadily expanding over the last 10 years and conceived and developed this state-of-the-art facility to meet the growing needs for processed grains. Today, we are equipped with over 96,000 metric tons, which is about 2,050,000 bags each year.
Under the Enhanced Nutrition and Value Chain Project, funded by Canada, WFP provided support to smallholder farmers to improve the quality of their produce and to access new markets. 2 agro-processing companies, Premium Foods Limited and Yete in Sunyani, received something like $3.3 million to upgrade their production processes.
I'm pleased to learn that this new factory is generating some 120 new jobs made up of technical and management professionals and is creating thousands and thousands of indirect income earning opportunities for farmers and outgrowers along the value chain, mainly women and youth in all parts of the country. Accordingly, and unknown ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure to declare the new factory of Premium Foods Limited duly commissioned.
Now the plant is finished and fully operational as of December 2021.
Really a big one.
Installed capacity is 30,000 metric tons of super cereal annually, excluding additives. We are currently running at 15,000 metric tons annually. We can move up to 26,000 per year within 12 months with required working capital in place and an additional investment of approximately $2 million in ancillary equipment, warehousing, additional forklift, installation of existing equipment, improved laboratory, process improvement, power substation, and adaptations. Obviously, smallholder farmer faces unique and traditional creditworthiness issues, which have been worked on in the past by the private sector, donor agencies, and government, each playing crucial roles. However, when any crucial partner is delinquent, it has catastrophic rippling effect. I've observed young smallholder farmer families start cultivating just 5 acres, and over the years have grown from 5 to 20 to 50 to 100 acres. And these acreage increases have really improved the fortunes of these families, and the major role the private sector plays to give them reliable access to market by buying their produce. The key here for success and continued interest in farming by young families is higher and profitable yields.
And one of my tuition, yes, and quite coming to my school. No one was so when I said, Mr. Quad might be very secondary school. Now, Cassidy about to us, and yeah, and now Mr. Tuman Abuan. They put my hand.
Spanish do a Bruno, a man about a Bruno, no me call. Scan come with Yaka. Come ba a bobium pebianum de Abrae. And Timayana, Kayafra Brugmanum. The free bear in fear, dear Nunia, Mr. Queen, whom is a human dear. I'm a great man, I your door, yet to 2 your friend, do a door, be a no or to or Kai bottom or Chiaoka. They say free offense not for her there. Me pe bia o bro bia de me sakim no o de maneto. Ti papa ne de wa ye bia ma ye pa. Ye boni dra na mfani ni agro kra.
Ejuma ya ni se me bo akuafo. Ye bro ha ho adwuma. Na ba nso ana ni ko na masa atama wo. Akuafo no ka kitwa ni. Na kitwa mo ye o ma ho de on de be ya ju. Ko asase ni de da ho. Ba ska o de be ni ho. You be also do 10 nickers ya. Ibi anu ado wa nika. O de sika no ade na ho ni. Ki say pushi o mu kakra. Obi a o we sa obetimi akọ ni. Nti de niwem na afeche de wanya kwa ni bia 20. They know 20 and to be our 400. So
this program will go a long way in increasing yields and profitability for the small farmer family, thereby improving credit worthiness.
Capturing on what we've done with premium food, but recognizing that there's a limit in efficiency with how many companies you could possibly do that investment with. I mentioned that we were looking at the north for a multi-use facility where many producers could have access to a plant in the north to produce be it cereal, tomato paste, for example, those types of things.
Wow. Viewers, I'm enjoying this all alone, but I believe my editor would ensure that you equally get to enjoy what I have actually viewed with these virtual glasses. But that was an insightful and short interview I had with the country director of WFP Ghana, Madam Barbara Clemens. If you want further information on partnerships and collaborations, you can follow their Twitter account, WFP Ghana, and the website, WFP Ghana. There's a lot of information you can refer to. And of course, you can equally walk into their offices for further information. Thank you for your time.